participating and welcome everyone. Welcome again. And now we have started doing the retreat together, and which is really wonderful. Very bit inspiring and helping to each other and practicing and following the footsteps of the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, and Padma Samye Ling, all the lineage masters, which is wonderful. We're really making meaning for life, taking some good benefit and good result of our this beautiful existing on this earth. So therefore, I thank you all, everyone participating and when we together this. Now again, I'm going to go through the teachings of Dudjom Rinpoche as I've been doing, and so in this anyway, always in the teaching said, or in all the masters in teaching said, again before we do receive the teaching, starting the teaching, practice the teaching of the Buddha Dharma, and strengthening our motivation. Intention is so important. And there's so many motivational intentions generally, and there's no even numbers there. But however, gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni summarized into 3 categories, and those are, we all know or heard this, and which is good intention, bad intention, and neutral intentions. So this time we are going to kind of completely give way to the negative intention or bad intention, and then we're going to also activate our good intentions. And this neutral intention, also even we are going to not keep that neutral intention, we are going to transform the neutral intention into the positive good intentions. And so that is really the good. The mind is the foundation and the source of both samsara and nirvanas. This time we are trying to really follow the path of the teaching or the path truth, and then we will get the realization, the results. So path truth and the realization of the path truth and the cessation truth is nirvana. Nirvana also begins with our mind. Similarly, samsara begins with our mind. And there is also a small subtle point that good mind is the cause of the nirvana, bad mind is the cause of the samsara. That's what every teaching said, and the Nagarjuna said, and I kind of say those use the quotations of the Nagarjuna's teachings. Negative emotion is the very fundamental cause of samsara, and the positive mind is the very, very cause of the nirvana. So therefore, now we're following the path truth. And among the path truth, generally there is always in the teaching said, distant path, short path, very, very short path, speed path. And distant path such as like Sutra teachings to the enlightenment, we're talking to the Buddhahood, not talking to just the nirvanas, we're talking to the enlightened Buddhahood. Distant path is the Sutra teachings, Mahayana Sutra teaching, which in the teaching said, if you follow the teachings of the Sutra of the Mahayana with the bodhicitta and good intention, everything, it will take at least 3 countless eons to reach the Buddhahood, enlightenment. 3 countless eons. That also is really according there is like in the teaching what is said. Also fast, highly capability practitioner of the Sutra Mahayana will take 3 countless eons. Medium capability practitioner of the Mahayana, Sutra Mahayana, will take 7 countless eons. And the average capability of the practitioner of the Sutra Mahayana, it will take 32, I think, countless eons. So 3 countless eons is even considered in the Sutra Mahayana is quite speed, fast. But this time, according to lineage masters, divided into three. Distant path, short path, very short path. So distant path is a Sutra Mahayana, at that time those many eons. And the short path is the outer Tantra teaching, which will take 3 lifetimes, 5 lifetimes, 7 lifetimes. It depends outer Tantra practices to reach enlightenment. And the quickest path to getting enlightenment is the Dzogchen teachings. According to Dzogchen teaching, you will get enlightenment within our single lifetimes. But we need fuel to reach enlightenment. What is fuel? Is courage, commitment, joyful effort, devotion, bodhicitta. Those are the fuel. And the knowledge and wisdoms to understanding and receive the teaching to the heart. Generally, those fuels, as I use F-U-E-L, fuel, that needed to all the practices. It's not just only Dzogchen teaching, but Dzogchen teaching is so fast, so quick, because it reveals the direct innate nature of our own, the inherited Buddha, instantly, and connected to original nature, our own enlightenment of the Rikpa, the self-born awareness, Rikpa Ramzong Yeshe. Therefore, if you have the devotion, bodhicitta, joyful effort within these lifetimes, and great masters such as Jigdral Sangye Wamso, and many other those great masters, Longchimba, they reach enlightenment not just this long kind of life, this lifetime, but even in the years, 12 years, reach absolute rainbow body enlightenment. That is what it is. But that all started with the motivation. Motivation is the foundation. And this time, then we're talking of the activating good motivation, which is joy, appreciation, and then devotions, and bodhicitta, and then purity, understanding, or the realization of the Vajrayana teachings. So those are really the motivation. With that motivation, then we follow with these teachings. And here we came to this now in this line. I think you have all this. What this his Holiness Dudjom said now here, and this what's called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 line. This is 6 and 7, 6 line, 7 line, and 8 line, and then as well as the next one is 4, the treasures of the practitioners. All that is we need always. It's not just once a time we should have that. This is we are going to maintain during all the time of our practice of this life until we reach the enlightenment. So that means what? We always trust in the 3 jewels. Our 3 jewels are infallible source of refuge. With that trust, we're going to do not mistaking about the result and the virtues, unvirtuous actions. Particularly a devotion to the root teachers, love and affection to the Samaya brothers and sisters, the bodhicitta of compassion toward all the mother sentient beings. Component things are impermanent, and these are known as the four everlasting wealth of the practitioners and should be regarded as indispensables. With that intention, with that thought, and then do this, continue to add these practices as it says, as in the teaching says. And now I will go over these lines again, with quite little details of each of those points. But first, I'm going to summarize entirely teaching the practices into those three nobles. Other day, I mentioned principal nobilities, or the principal nobles, or nobles, three nobles. The beginning noble, middle noble, concluding noble, that encompass the entire practice of the teaching. Now again, we're going to think. Generally, Buddha teaching, how you learn and observe to the heart and make the difference by Buddha teaching. Studying, contemplating, and practice. Those three are how we are studying. And the studying and the contemplating is generally studying. What in the teaching says? Studying is you're studying with the meaning of the words, meaning of the teachings. That is, so you are really looking and going after and analyzing or reflecting the teaching of the Buddha. Contemplating is now, when you contemplate that teaching, what you learned, now you contemplate it to your own intelligence, with your own heart. That connecting what the teaching said, about how you interpreted, what other great masters said, or the other great practitioners said about that, and kind of blending in with you, so that you will have the certainty wisdom. Certainty wisdom. What we like to know, what we have to have. Certainty wisdom. Certainty. The studying of the teaching of the Buddha will make the difference of the word, meaning of the word, what it's saying. But now contemplating means is explore the deep root of that. Deep root of the teaching. That is, again, greatest teacher Buddha Shakyamuni himself said, not just, you don't have to believe or should not believe what I said. You must analyze yourself. It makes sense or it don't make sense. Because the Buddha teaching is a teaching of the way things are, truth. Truth exactly, and the way things are on the relative truth, way things are on the absolute truth. So this is truth is not occupied by certain individuals or selected groups. Truth is pervasive. As like sunshine, as sky or sunshine. It's not just the prayed only and only that God the prayed peoples or some certain selected group get those. Everyone has equal. So therefore, the exploration of the truth is so important because the teaching is true, it's natural. So once you have this, so that contemplating, when you get the meaning, when you really got some degree meaning, now you start practices. That is known as other great masters, other great practitioners. And the teaching said, other great masters said, the teacher said, the book said, or Buddha teaching said, now I understand, to me, it makes sense, and now I'm going to practice. That means what? We're going to practice without a doubt and hesitations, skepticals. Practice means practice with confidence, practice with joy, practice with appreciations, practice with thankful, gratitudes. We're going to practice. Because practice means reality, each of us exploring our own beauty of nature. Our own beauty. Our own beauty that will defeat all the troubles of the samsaras. All the difficulties of samsaras. We are equipping ourselves strong and very powerful and strength to defeat all the hindrances, troubles, difficulties, misfortunes, anxiety, depression, whether there's a mental problem, whether there's a psychological problem, whatever we're going to really defeat it that into the emptiness. When we defeat it, even there's no trace that we find. That's what we're going to do. But that's what we're going to do by the recognize the truth. Seeing the truth exactly as it is. And therefore, we're going to do that with confidence, with the diligence, with the determinations. We're going to do this not just only that for ourselves, we're going to do that for all the beings with our bodhicitta. So therefore, this contemplation, that is so important, that will lead to the practice. So therefore, when it comes to the practice, the Buddha teaching is, as I said the other day, we all know, it's not just I said and I'm saying this thing. I heard this to you, I read this in the books. Buddha taught over 45 years teachings, and those teachings are summarized into 84,000. That teaching is also in a teaching said, the great master said, 12 excellent teachings. That 12 excellent teachings can be summarized into 3 basket teachings or 3 Pitaka teachings. And so that 3 Pitaka teachings, now what we have to do? There is 3 Pitaka teaching, you studying and contemplating. Now you have to practice. For that practice, not just only on the intellectual state, you have to absorb that into the heart and the practice, as I said. We have to practice. When we practice this, what that really actually means, we have to discipline our mind, our speech, our body's activity. And how to do that? According to teaching, actually, if we like to discipline ourselves, that means we would like to make more gentle, more peaceful, more simple one, then we have to start with the mind. That is the practice way to do. Mind, that is. When mind is become more gentle, peaceful, simple, naturally it will bring gentle, peaceful of the verbal and as well as verbal activity, physical activities. So therefore, we have to do this go to the mind, which is source, which is root. And that is then, when you come to the practices, and that I said, great master Lungchimpa also highlight, it's not just Lungchimpa, but everyone teaching said, but highlighted by the great master Lungchimpa, and that is then 3 nobilities or 3 nobles. Beginning noble, middle noble, and concluding nobles. Why it means, in Tibet it is called Dambasam. Dambasam. Dhamma means noble, or supreme, or noble. Why it is nobles? This, as I said, the Buddha gave all those teachings in order to discover our inner nature of the enlightenment, all that. And those all teachings are summarized into these 3 groups. So that means, according to this one, this is the supreme among all the teachings. These 3 are, or these are the nobilities, most noble ones of all the teachings. So that in a way we capture the essence of the entire teaching of the Buddha Shakyamuni into these 3 simple frames: beginning noble, middle noble, and concluding noble. Therefore, it is noble. Since it is noble, it will make us nobility. it will bring the final nobilities. It is noble. It is. And now, what is those nobles? In the teaching said, what is it? First noble is intention. Intention with the bodhicitta. And the second noble is then no grasping or clinging. Meditation without clingings. Third nobility or noble is inspiration and dedication. And that encompasses entirely practices. Order to reach enlightenment or order to discover the ultimate noble. First noble, also what in the teaching said. First noble is a skillful means. Skillful means noble of the bodhicitta or intention with the bodhicitta. Skillful means. That means what? When you have this nobility of this both intention of bodhicitta, that is like skillful means, it will transmit it or it will transform the second and third, all the perfect. So it is really the foundation. It is the foundation, it is vital structures of the practices. When we practice intention, that is I think Senji Tamba. Senji is like skillful means. Its skillful means is method of that intentions. And second, how is named? Getsa Jinji Manjepa Nguji Mumi Tamba. Means that the practice will never going to damage it, cause or damage it, spoiled by the method of the non-grasping meditation and practices. So this, if we practice the meditation without grasping, clinging too much, or clinging, that practice, that merit will last forever. Not just last forever, it will multiply, it will increase. Therefore, second is so important. It is holding together all the practice right as should be needed. Third one, the final one, what I say final one, final noble is aspiration and dedication. What in the teaching said, that for last one, aspiration and dedication will increasing, multiplying the merit all the time. Even we are not practicing, even we are not meditating, but when we do the practices, when we do the meditation, at the end if we do the good aspiration and good dedication, that will multiply the merit if we were not practicing. Therefore, it is known as the multipliers. It will bring soul plus and continuous soul plus of the merit choice. So therefore, these three are the nobles in order to reach ourselves, to sake of all living beings in life. So that is really what now I said those three, little bit kind of highlight ways. Now I go back to the beginning. Beginning nobility is the intention with the bodhicitta. So that means intention with the bodhicitta. What are intentions? Joy, appreciation, and bodhicitta in devotions. Those are the intentions. Those are the intentions, those are the foundations of our practices. Foundation. That's how we begin. First, the joy and appreciation. Joy of our lives, joy of our situations, joy of that we are as beautiful human beings, joy of all the situations and circumstances that we are surrounded. Even though we in the samsara, but we have the window of light, all of us. When we compare to the many beings who are going through all the difficulties, challenges, one after another, endless, constantly going. Don't mention the three lower realms, but even these human realms, in this human world, how many people are going trouble or difficulty? But to compare with that, what we are and what they are, how they are going, we have much more to be celebrated of our situation, circumstance. Is true or not? You reflect, really. Even your own tongue, even your places, where you can see the examples where that happened. Even the richest country in the world, highly developed country in the world, there's still so many things going on. We can be one of those too, but we're not. Many of us still so good. Generally in the Buddha's teaching and all the great masters' teaching, being as human being is much more better. Even when you're going through all the difficult challenges, much more better and beautiful than the three lower realms. You cannot really compare with situation and circumstances what going through in those three lower realms. Why I'm going to bring the three lower realms with human realms? According to Buddhism, you all know, I'm talking Buddhism, okay? According to Buddhism, the three lower realms is not just owned by the selected groups. It's all directed by our karma, our actions, and cause and effects. Sure. But we are not in three lower realms. So that means we had good karma. That means we did something good in the past. Even though we don't see the past. But this now tells, our situation tells the past being quite good. For example, if I have the delicious apple right in front of me, apple, or if I have apple, if I add this apple, if you see that apple is so delicious, choose. I can tell this apple, even I don't know where it grows, where it bought that, but that wherever it's growing, it must be good soil, good something, good condition. That's why I have this apple, delicious apple. Apple, even maybe it's not good looking apple, but it's delicious. It's very good. That tells us something. Even the good looking apple I have here right in front of me, but if I eat, it's not that good. It's not sweet. Kind of little soury or kind of strange flavors. That tells, even though I don't see that where it grows, that soil, that conditions or whatever, is not that good. I can tell. That is inevitable deductions of the valid cognitions. For that reason, what the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni said, read present, just deduct the past. Present will deduct or inference of the past. And read your action of now and projected futures. That's what really very practical statement in practice teaching. It's true. Present, our situation, circumstance is the foundation. It is the cause and conditions for our
destinations. Therefore, being as beautiful, smart human beings, we have every right to do good things, which is reflected for ourselves, good, all the way to future, and also is good for the other beings. Because being as Buddhist practitioners, what gracious teacher Buddha says, and help to the others, help to yourself, and fulfill a dual purpose, two purposes. Therefore, being to be as citizen of the human beings or the world, we have every reasons really trying to do good things. And which is Dharma, which is practice, which is so special. Special. It is good for you, good for the others, good for us, and which we should do that. So therefore, this good intention is really the foundations. For that reason, as I'm talking now, bring more joy in appreciations, more gratefuls, more thankfuls. Many times our mind is always looking outside. And not just outside, always looking far distant. We miss our near or close ones, closer. We don't kind of look, we always with expectations, with hopes, looking some kind of far and far. And then we are missing the point. We're losing our ground of feet. We're looking all the time. Have to be practical. Look to far horizons, but look to your own feet, your own standing. Make stronger, firm. And when you look around us, we have so many to be thankful. We should be really thankful to our families, our friends, all the different situations, circumstances, the fellow citizens. And then bodhicattas always in the Bodhisattva teaching said, sentient beings or other beings are so important. Like important as like Buddhas. Or everyone is so important, so kind, so special. Special in order to reach our self-enlightenment, in order to become the Buddha. We have to have others. Otherwise, how we can practice, how we can do all those meditation practice and act, kind of like become stronger ourselves. So therefore, every level is really how should be thankful, grateful. Grateful, joy and appreciation is dawn of enlightenment. That enlightenment begins with joy. Enlightenment begins with, or Buddhahood begins with joy. Buddhahood begins with appreciation, thankful. But same time, courage and commitment. And same time, more humble and more simple. Down to the earth, move forward, advancing, really grateful. And then, with the joy and appreciation, then bodhicitta. We all know, we all heard this, bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is a very foundation of entire Buddha teaching, particularly Mahayana teachings. Even in the teaching said, bodhicitta makes difference between foundation Buddhist school and Mahayana teachings. So bodhicitta is really the foundation of the Buddhahood, enlightenment. And therefore, activating bodhicitta. And I'm going to talk those a little bit more. We all know, you all heard this bodhicitta so many times from so many great masters and read the books. But it's always in the Buddha teachings to remember, recollect, refresh of the bodhicitta is marvelous, is marvel. And therefore, trusting in the words of the Buddha teaching, I will go over the bodhicitta too. I'm going to go on these meanings. That is, bodhicitta is precious mind. Mind. What great Ngurpa Masamba said, bodhicitta is the mind of Buddha. It's the Buddha. Believe it or not, the moment we develop the bodhicitta, that moment we are to the Buddha status. Buddha. What bodhicitta has actually in the teaching said. compassion, loving kindness, wisdom. These three. Loving kindness, compassion, wisdom. This is Buddha mind. This is enlightened mind. When we have that, with joy and appreciation, truly enlightenment is shining quite brilliantly in each of our heart. That is true, not making up stories. That is really that. So bodhicitta is so important. Once we have the bodhicitta strongly combined together with then devotions. Devotion and faith are the similar. As I said, faith and devotion. Tepatai mugi in a Tibet. But devotion is really joy, appreciation, confidence, and richness feeling, openness feeling. That combined, the beautiful mental attitude is the devotions. That is the vapor. Vapor. This is warmth of bodhicitta. Warmth is just coming out the mist, the warmth mist of the bodhicitta. That we need to bloom the enlightenment fully. That most we need. So this book, therefore, what I said, I'm going to talk bodhicitta more and tomorrow but I'm going to, this what I said. Today, the foundation, beginning novel. Foundation novel is joy and bodhicitta and devotions. These three are really so important. This is not just important at the beginning time, but this is always we need. Joy and appreciation, bodhicitta and devotion during the meditation and practices. If you bring that energy, well, it will refresh our meditation. It will refresh our practices. And if we have that also, with this intention, it will keep our practice always fresh. It's never going to become boring and tiring. Find all this again, I have to do all these kind of things. Never going to do. And we have the joy and apprehension, bodhicitta, when we dedicate the marriage. That's how it will increase all the marriages. So therefore, this is really important. So important. And therefore it's called the beginning novel. Beginning novel. And that is my talk for today. And thank you very much again for participating and for coming. And thank you again. Now we do the short meditation. Thank you. Thank you everyone.